Hey everyone, Brian from Bear Bull Traders here. It is Sunday, September 15th, and I am recording this from Scotland, where I've been for a couple of days now and just on a bit of a vacation. But yeah, just thought I'd jump on here, take a look at the markets, see what's coming up this week. I may not have a lot of opportunity to trade because I'm going to be traveling around here, but just thought I'd do a review. Maybe took a look at some opportunities that some people may want to take during the week if they present themselves. So, well, first off, here's the news that came out just on Saturday, I guess it was. These drone attacks on the oil plants in Saudi Arabia, I guess they're going to have about a third of the lost output back online on Monday, but obviously that's going to be a driver in the market when we open up on Monday morning. Crude futures are probably going to rise significantly. Market may be down a little bit. I think it will be a buying opportunity for sure. So let's just take a look at the indexes. We got some new highs this week, I think, but the markets are looking a little toppy to me. We'll get into that in a minute. You can see here some of the moving averages, stocks above the 50, the 200, all coming back up here, new highs. Lots more new highs, more, 50-50 on the advanced decline. Again, like I said, we finished off Friday with kind of a mixed results. Dow up, NASDAQ actually sold off, same with the S&P. So a little bit of profit taking maybe at the end of the week there. And you can kind of see here 1 week performance, what did well, financials. We'll talk about the yield curve and how the yields are coming up again. And we had a pretty good run off a double bottom on the 10-year yield. And so financials have done well because when the spreads widen a bit on the 210 curve, the short term and long term, you get better conditions for make financials. So let's take a look at the indexes, etc. And here we go. So you can see here, look at this nice, beautiful double bottom. I mean, you couldn't paint a better double bottom than this one. Yields just bottom right out here at 1.47. Here was the bottom here again, 1.47. This is a lovely looking double bottom. Always a great, always a great pattern to trade off. It's one of my favorite patterns to trade off here, because if you get an entry around here, then your stop is just, and your risk is just right there, and your potential for a run. I mean, you could have taken some off here, where you might have expected some resistance, maybe some resistance on the way up here, but I think once we get up into this 1.96 range, I think we're going to see the 2 range. I think we're going to see some significant resistance here. You can see the RSI turned around, MACD, really nice. Coming back up. Look on the weekly, big gap up on the start of the week, and yeah, filled this gap right here. It's called filling the gap. But I really think we are going to have some resistance here at 2. Let's take a look at the indexes. You can see here, that's why I'm saying things look a little tired. We had sort of an indecision candle on Thursday, another indecision candle on Friday, a little bit higher on the day, but still just markets having trouble pushing higher, and obviously we're coming into some areas of prior resistance, which are going to be resistance again. Sort of average volume for the week compared to the last couple of weeks, maybe dying off a bit. RSI, MACD, not kind of just still continuing higher here. This is the weekly. You can see here we're just right back up at prior resistance. And let's take a look at the IWM, the small caps. So you can see here we tried to push above this level here, which was going to be resistance. We actually got above it on Friday, but then we rejected. So to me, this is not a nice looking candle. I would be watching it. I'm not really sure if there's a trade here. The volume's dropping off, so the sell-off, there was not a lot of volume on the sell-off compared to these pushes higher, but I think we're going to have some challenge here getting through this 158 level on the IWM. Again, see right back up at prior resistance, which is where we're going to maybe chop around. I would be watching for a push above 160. If we can get above 160, 170 could be in the crosshairs if we can get above this 160 level, and I think it's going to depend on news flow, etc. Big volume week compared to previous weeks, so we may push higher. I'd be setting an alert around 160 and just watching it there for a push higher. The Qs, again, a rejection day, Friday. Again, sort of an indecision candle on the week, volume coming up a bit, but still pretty lackluster when you look at, volume back here. So I don't know if again, we're back right up. We tried to test this 195 level prior high and rejected. So interesting price action. Let's take a look at the weekly on the SPY. Again, we tried to challenge this prior high. Got to it and then rejected it, but still finished higher on the week, so on volume. And trend may be higher. I think we're going to open lower on Monday because of the attacks and the spike in oil, but I still believe that, after the dust settles and some of the selling abides, I think the stocks are going to push back up again. So watch for that rebound after some initial selling is what I think is going to happen. Just speculating now at this point. Again, we're on the dollar, and looks like it's kind of trading in a range here. I think we're going to find some support here and maybe pop back up. VIX again selling off. I'd be looking at maybe re-entering the VIX around 12 because there seems to be some pretty significant support that level. Let's take a look at what on watch. I mean, we had a really nice trade on Baidu, caught this nice bounce higher after a period of consolidation here. Really liked this trade because looked like we were holding this 102.50 level. Got an entry and we got this nice pop and sold it. So that was kind of a range trade. I would call it a range and a breakout trade. So kind of broke out through the 50, and again a really nice setup because you had a level to trade against there. People ask me, why I took the trade. It just looked like it was kind of becoming a bit of a coiled spring there, ready to take off, and it did. CGC. One of our moderators in the room actually was asking about CGC. CGC would have been a great trade back in early September. We put in a really nice, talked about the double bottom earlier, put in a nice double bottom here. And, once it came back up off this double bottom, you could have picked it up, traded it for a really nice bounce higher from, sort of the 24 level to, up to this 27.5 level. Could actually even have traded it right. I would have taken a target somewhere around here, which is exactly where it rejected, a prior level of resistance, and that's exactly where it got to and then rejected. So I told him, we should be watching this. I mean, this again may be setting up like Baidu, like we just talked about here. We may just churn. It may hold this 2670 level. And if it does and it churns, it may end up popping and we could get a gap fill back up through 30.31 here. So I'd be keeping an eye on CGC. Crohn's another one he asked about. This one I kind of, sussed out you could almost say this is a bit of a pendant here. So I'd be watching this to break through this pendant one way or another. You can see here we've got some lines, some trend lines here that this thing seems to be following. I mean, I'll take those lines off after I've shown them to you. You could kind of use this 1127 level as a support level, as a stop out, and and look for a push higher. I'd be looking for I'd be looking for a move to 12 and then maybe, try to get to almost like a 1277 move. So if you got a good entry on this on a pullback on Monday, it might actually be an interesting trade back up to sort of high 12s. Something to watch on Monday as well. These will sell. This has been a nice trade. You can see a nice trend line up here. Still hasn't broken, but if you look at where we are, we're kind of at a level here. You can see this tried to pop higher, came back down here, and then rejected this level. So we're right at a level of prior resistance, and so that's not surprising. We're kind of stalling out here. But I'd watch for a break above 45. Might be a good entry for a break higher if we get there. Lulu I was looking at, and I was expecting it to go back through 200. I sort of told people I thought that was what was going to happen. It actually did go back through 200. And then we had a sell-off day on Friday with very little volume. So I'd be watching this again, 193. 193 would be a level you could take an entry and use 193 as a stop on some sell-off. So I'm still watching Nugget. It's really been selling off. It's getting back into an area that might be interesting for a long trade, and especially we'll see what happens with on Monday. We'll see what gold futures do on this oil attack on the Saudis. We'll see if that puts a bid under gold. But what's been happening is gold's been popping up during the day and then selling off into the close. So I'd be watching for, if it does pop up, I'd be keeping an eye on it just to see what happens in the last 2 hours of the day or so. If it starts to sell off again, it means that we still haven't got, the sellers still aren't done with this. But it is getting back into this area here, this 2760 level. To me seems like an area. This is where it bounced before. This is kind of where it broke out from, this sort of 2760 level. So I could, you could use that as a area of that you would stop out on the trade. PayPal we've traded again. That was a swing trade. Got a nice entry on it. Took an exit on it. Got a really nice move out of it. Happy with that. I don't see, it's kind of a hot mess right now. Roku's been great. Had a really nice run up, and now it's with Apple coming out with the Apple TV, this really took a hit. Came back a bit, but now it's sort of, again, I'm not seeing a setup there right now. We'll just keep an eye on it. Silver, same comments as gold. We're kind of coming down into 16, could be a level of support here. And we'll see what it does on Monday when the market's open. Square, I don't know what to do with Square. It's certainly not behaving as well as PayPal is. A lot of the payment space, the Visa and MasterCard sold off too. You've kind of got this level here, the 55, 56 level, 55.74. So I'm holding this right now. It looks like it held that right. Where did it, 50, low is 55.91, 55.40, kind of like I'm just looking at these levels here. If we came down to here, 51 would be, let's see where was the low on that, 50, 49.82. Yeah, looks like we've broken this level here. So I don't know. It kind of looks like it maybe wants to come down, and if it can't hold here, it's going to come down and test the 50. I'd definitely be setting an alert around 50. If it hit 50, I'd be looking at buying it. Might be worth setting an alert on that one. So what do we got? Oh, we missed a bunch here. TLT was, with the interest rates going up, you can see double bottom or double top here, really sold off. If I look at the TBT, which is the opposite of this, TLT, you'd see a double bottom. And so this looks like, again, I'd be watching this 134. for a possible entry because I really don't think interest rates have much further to rise here. Talked about that. TNA was another swing trade. We got a really nice run off of this breakout here. Got out most of it, the rest of it 62, but super trade on this one, swing trade. Right up into resistance and then rejection from there. So we'll see what it does. I don't see a trade set up right now. We'll just have to watch it just because it's rejected here and I don't know really what it's going to do. It's probably going to sell off on Monday. Again, like I said, I'm just speculating right now. TZA, again, the opposite of TNA, going to go up if TNA goes down. Natural gas. Natural gas just seems to keep getting a bid here. I kind of missed this move, so, and we're getting into levels of prior resistance and support, so I'm thinking it's going to be, it's not really going to go anywhere. So here will be the trade we'll watch on Monday. See what oil does, but you know, obviously I think it's going to oil's going to gap up in price, and then we'll just see what happens from there. So that's it, everyone. Hope everyone's had a great weekend. Again, I'm traveling this week, and I won't be too active in terms of trading, but if you want to check out my book on Amazon, it's How to Swing Trade. You can check that out if you haven't had a chance already. So enjoy the rest of the weekend, everybody. And I know the people will be in the trading room. Andrew will be in the trading room on Monday morning. I'm not sure if I'll be able to join everybody. I may be traveling, so maybe on the road. Have a great weekend, the rest of your weekend, everyone, and we'll talk to you soon. I may do another post midweek. And if I do get a chance to trade, I will be posting that as well. Thanks, and have a good one, guys. Bye for now.